a couple of years ago. Rodrigo Quizera is also there, third last year, the Burundian, third here in 2022, and third in the 5K here in 23. So he's got a record, 3 consecutive third places at 5K or 10K over the last three years, and he's in great form, as Rodrigo Quizera. Won the Prague half marathon 3 weeks ago in a 58.54, a new national record. He won it with a sprint too. He's a fast finisher. Let's have a look at them. There he is, Quizera, in fabulous form, the bearded Burundian. And Nicholas Kipkorea Kimeli with a best of 26.51. That was in Brasov, Romania, 3 years ago. He's the defending champion. He won last year in 27.05, a very close finish, where the first 4 were within 4 seconds of each other, just outside 27 minutes. There he is, perhaps the pre-race favourite. He is the defending champion. As I said, it's 7 full laps plus a 994-metre run-in for these fellas. They start on the long straight between the Novena and Podium buildings here on the Adidas campus. And they are underway. We have the racing started here at the 2025 edition, the 5th edition of the Adizero Road to Records. Great road surface. They have ensured that some of the corners that in the past have been a little bit tight, that means a slowing down and loss of rhythm for the athletes. They've ensured that some of those corners are slightly more curved and more gentle and more sympathetic for the athletes than in years gone by. 2 pacemakers out there. There are Shadrach Kipkoech and Gudesa Muleta. And looking to take these fellas out at, well, a super fast tempo. Around 240, 242 per kilometre. We will get the kilometre splits, hopefully, appearing. And if not, then I should have them on the computers here, if everything, all the wiring's joined up. And I'll be able to give you the progress of the athletes through the race. But they do need to start fast. It is a bit cooler than we expected here this morning. It is also a little bit windier than we expected here this morning. So these athletes have got to go out perhaps a little bit more aggressively than they planned. Tadesse Worku has tucked in right behind the 2 pacemakers there. You can see him in between the 2 black vests. He's going with this early tempo. Just a minute and a half on the clock now. And already some athletes beginning to struggle with this tempo. Athletes flown in by Adidas from all over the world. They're at different territories. And of course, therefore, quite a spread of abilities. 1 or 2 athletes in here who have not gone too far under 30 minutes. But the very best of them, well, they've gone below 27, and many, many athletes here have gone below 28. And already a very clear separation between that leading pack. Just over 2 minutes on the clock. And it does look like Tadesse Worku, the 23-year-old Ethiopian, who was a second here back in 2021, is the man most up for it. He's going with the pacemakers here. And they've completed that first 3/4 lap, so to speak. 2.5 minutes on the clock as they come past us here at the finish line. They go through the finish line arch, and now they have 7 full laps to run. And Tadesse, well, he is Tadesse Worku. He's building a bit of a gap between the pack. He's right up there with the 2 pacemakers, building a bit of a gap back to that pack. And he does look hungry for this. He's very, very strong. My notes say he may push the second half, but he's pushing it early on here, and that's good. I love the honesty of that. Well, that first kilometre, 2:42. That projected finish time then, 27:04. And that's very promising indeed if the pack can get up with him. We need there to be a race up at the front end, so it's a long, lonely circuit for him if he's to be out there on his own. But 2:42 is pretty much spot on. If they can get under 27 here, that would be quite fabulous. The meeting record, so to speak, is 26:42 by Ronix Kipruto, the world record holder. He didn't break the world record. He ran 26:42 here in Herzog back in September 21 when it was an end of summer road race meeting. His world record 26:24 was set in Valencia the previous year, back in January 2020. So it's been around a little while now, that world record. It's only a matter of time before it's broken. Now the pack beginning to get up with Tadesse Worku getting closer to him. Gemechu it is now, up at the front end. Gemechu Dida Deriba, 25-year-old Ethiopian, a best of 27:12. That was in Lille in March last year. He's a good track racer, good track pedigree. Fabulous on the half marathon too. He's run a 58:39 half marathon. Remember, a half marathon, 21k, over twice this distance. So he has enormous strength, good speed too. He's a 7:42 performer indoors at 3,000. And listen to this, Gemechu Dida Deriba, who is right up there at the front end at the moment, won the Berlin half marathon 3 weeks ago in 58:43. He missed the course record by 1 second, but anything down under 59 minutes for a half marathon, super fast, and he's attacking this. He was only 7th here last year, and he looks like he's hungry for a much better position than that. Well, that is the shoe most of the athletes are wearing, the Adidas Pro 4. 2:38, that second kilometre. It's accelerated. That's wonderful. 26:42, the projected winning time. And that is exactly on the meeting record by Kipruto here in Herzog in September 21. That was on a tougher circuit with a much bigger hill here on the campus. They've shortened the circuit. They pretty much make a nice circle here on the campus. 7 full laps they've got to do after that initial couple of minutes negotiating the first half lap. And this pack are pushing hard to try and go with those leaders. Jafeth Kemboy Kozgai there, beginning to get left a little bit. He's a 28:57 performer. But I'll tell you what, when they're stretched out this much with only 6.5 minutes on the clock, you know it's aggressive racing up at the front end. Look at the tempo there by Gemechu Deriba. Left of picture. He is absolutely flying, this man. And he is super consistent at the half marathon. Listen to this. He's run 7 half marathons, 6 of them under 60 minutes. He's fabulously consistent at the half marathon, and he has got enormous strength. Now, I mentioned he was only 7th here last year. He doesn't want to get caught up in any sprinting at the tail end. He wants to make this a real test of strength, and critically, and I mentioned earlier how important confidence is, the mindset of these athletes. His confidence is sky high after that Berlin half marathon win, 58:43. On a cold morning in Berlin 3 weeks back, 58:43. Missed the course record by 1 second, very frustratingly. Indeed, when he crossed the line, it looked like he'd broken it by 1 second, but the time was adjusted. And he's not afraid of not thinking about the others, is he? No dependence upon the pack. Setting his own tempo here. Really well muscled in the legs as well. He's got a fabulous physique. So many of the East African great distance runners, some of the legends like Paul Turgat are long and lean, or at least they were in their day. I saw Paul Turgat last year at the Olympic Games, and he's definitely got a retired appearance about him, let's say. But so many of the East Africans are long and lean when they're in their best racing form. But Gemechu Deriba, well, he looks fabulously muscled, more like a middle distance racer. Well, 2:44 that last kilometre, 26:53 is the projected winning time. Gone through 3,000 there. See if we can pull up these splits.
Hi Adidas, Road to Record 2025. Hier sind die Top-Athleten über die 10 Kilometer.
3K in 8:04 was the split, and that is quick, really quick. Gemichu here, it's almost like he's enticing the others. He's just like a carrot being dangled out in front of them, because he's the one dragging them along. He has a little look over his shoulder there to see what sort of damage he's done. Rodrigo Quizera is there, Verhanu is there, so is Beraket as well. That's good running from him as they come past us here by the finish line. 6 laps to go, 9 minutes on the clock. There you can see that map, top right of your screen, the circuit they are negotiating here at the Adidas campus in Herzogenaurach. Well, this pack of 4 working very hard. And there's no doubt about it, this is going to be quick this morning. It does seem, from the splits they've churned out over the last 10 minutes, because they've been going for 10.5 minutes now, that the wind isn't really affecting these fellas too much. Maybe they're a little bit more sheltered there. My commentary position here is a slightly raised platform by the finish line, a little bit exposed. Now I have to tell you, it's decidedly cool on this Saturday morning. It is only 9:10 local time. It will warm up. Indeed, the forecast was for today to be a lovely sunny day, but it's, well, let's just say, if that cloud does get burnt off, it's going to take a little while through this morning. But Gemichu Diriba, with a best of 27:12, is on tempo here. The last kilometre at 2:41. He's on schedule for a personal best here. That 4th kilometre at 2:41. And that's a projected finishing time of 26:53. It would be ideal if he could get a little bit of assistance here, but this is his choice to push on hard like this out in front, using that half marathon strength. The strange thing is that that gap between him and this quartet hasn't grown. One man out in front, the pack of 4 trying to run him down, or at least live with this tempo he's dictating at the moment. Verhanu Belu there to the right of this front pairing, and Rodrigo Quizera is there just in the front now of this chasing quartet. He's got a small beard. He was 3rd here last year in 27:07. Quizera, and he is in fabulous form. Remember, said he won that Prague half marathon 3 weeks ago in 58:54 with a sprint, a perfectly timed sprint, and he has got good speed. Quizera, 13:04 for 5,000. So the 5K split is significant. That's coming up in less than a minute's time. The pace has been pretty solid. Not super consistent, but it's consistent enough. It's gone 2:42, 2:38, 2:44, 2:41. And what's this 5th kilometre going to be? They'll be looking here for something around 13:30 at 5K. And Quizera, of this, what was a quartet, have they dropped somebody? Yes, they have. 3 now in the chasing group, and they will not let Gemichu Diriba build a gap. They're staying all the time, that sort of 20 yards, 20 meters or so behind him. Maybe it's 20, 25 meters. I don't know if it's growing or not. But looking for that 5K split now. And it looks like they've gone through 5K in 13:29. That is super quick. Sub 27 tempo. Obviously, a projected finishing time of 26:57, 26:58, certainly below 28 minutes. But somebody else surely is going to have to help Deriba out there in front make this tempo right. Don't think the world record is in sight. Kipruto's 26:24 in Valencia back in 2020 was extraordinary. In Valencia, of course, one of those Spanish cities like Castellón and Barcelona and one or two others that are producing super fast times year after year now, race after race. Conditions down in the Mediterranean countries are so often ideal, not in the full height of the summer, but in the winter months when Northern Europe is freezing. Down in Southern Europe, you still get those lovely days of between 10 and 15 degrees centigrade, and on flat courses with little wind, conditions couldn't be much better. The crowd building quite significantly down around the finish area here as Deriba pushes on. Nearly 15 minutes on the clock now. That 5K split, 13:29, very promising. If they can wind it up here, start racing and maybe go quicker through the second half, we could see significantly under 27 minutes. I don't know if Ronix Kipruto's meeting record is under threat. I don't think so. 26:42, probably beyond them after that 5K split. That was back in 2021. But the racing is quite superb at the moment. Still, Deriba out in front, leading the tempo. No change, single file more or less because of this aggressive running from the Ethiopian. We understand Deriba, the leader here, had stomach problems last night, and yet it doesn't look like it to me. He's running superbly. What would he be doing if he didn't have stomach problems last night? That's the question. He's sticking to his game plan though, isn't he? This is the sort of tactic that you think about for days, maybe weeks before a race. You want to run aggressively. You want to make sure the tempo is really fast and honest. And if others want to go with him, be up alongside him, that's fine, that's up to them. But he's making it very, very tough for them. 2:44 for that 6th kilometre. Same time as the 3rd kilometre. Quizera still looks the keenest for me. Rodrigo Quizera still looks the keenest of those in the chasing pack to go with Gemichu Dida. He's doing the aggressive running. The others are behind him, hanging onto him now. But this is the 3rd quarter of the race, and psychologically this is absolutely critical. This is the toughest part of the race. Through the first half, you're reasonably fresh. You should be running within yourself. In the final quarter, the last lap and a half or so, you will be sort of psychologically aware that the finish is within sight, that you can really give 100%. This 3rd quarter of the race is the toughest because it's the one where you're tired, the finish is still a long way away, and these questions keep creeping into your mind. But Rodrigo Quizera, well, after that Prague half marathon win 3 weeks back and his 3rd place here last year, he knows this circuit. Indeed, he was 3rd here in the 5K back in 2023. He's finished 3rd on each of the last 3 times he's raced here. He was 3rd in 22 in the 10K, 3rd in the 5K in 23, 3rd last year in the 10K. So Quizera pushing hard here. I would imagine in the back of his mind he's thinking, I will not be 3rd again. I will not be 3rd again. I want to be better than that. But first is a tall order at the moment because Gemichu Deriba has been punching out a super fast tempo, and I'm just trying to see where he is because those 3 now are right behind the timing vehicle. I'm wondering if he's dropped out actually. So here are the trio leading, and I'm just trying to see where Gemichu, he's back with them now. They have sucked him in. Yeah, he's at the back of this trio, and he has eased back on the throttle. He'd worked so hard for some 15 minutes out in front on his own, and he must have eased back in this latest kilometre. We're in this 7th kilometre now. That last kilometre, 2:44. Again, it has slowed a little bit. He projected finishing time 27:03 still. But Gemichu there is third from left. Rodrigo Quizera second to left. And now
So, here they are.
We've got 5 in it. They come past us very shortly at the finish line. There is Gemichu, Rodrigo Quizera, Behanu it is, who's in 3rd place. And they're virtually on the point of lapping athletes now. Such is the speed they're moving at, these men. They come through in front of us. 2 laps to go. The lead vehicle, there you see it with a camera on it, shows them the time of their last kilometre, and it shows them their projected time, so they're constantly getting loads of information. 5 fellas in it, big gap behind them, and anybody's race now. It doesn't look like it's going to be a world record. It doesn't look like it's going to be a meeting record. It will be a course record in effect, because this is an adjusted circuit. So on a new circuit, this is a course record, but it matters not. The most important thing here now is that you've got 5 men moving at about 27-minute tempo, super fast, and a brilliant race building. Rodrigo Quizera to the left of picture. Some people would be putting money on him. He was 3rd here last year. He's Mr. Consistent, my notes say beside his name. And we know he's in wonderful form. He's produced great performances, 3rd places over 5k and 10k here. This is his 4th consecutive year racing in Herzogenaurach. And now Nicholas Kipkore-Kimeli hits the front for the first time. He is the fastest in the field with that 26:51 in Brasov, Romania 3 years ago. He is the defending champion. And has he timed this one perfectly as they go into the last lap and a half? He won last year in 27:05. And we're looking for that 8k split now. I don't think I missed it. It'll come up very shortly. In fact, the 8k has just gone by, and unofficially it looks like 21:52 at 8k. That's 5 miles, by the way, a little bit quicker than the traffic in your local big city. 2:44 for that kilometre, the 8th kilometre. So they have slowed a little bit. 5k was reached in 13:29 with Gemichu Diriba out in front. Then he began to tire in the last 3 kilometres, each of them, the 6th, 7th, 8th kilometres have been 2:44 per split. And we have a fabulous race building now. He set it up so well, did Gemichu Diriba, but is he going to get reward for that early front-running aggression? Nicholas Kipkore-Kimeli, second in the Prefontaine 10,000 metres last year in Eugene, Oregon, that big track gathering every year. He ran 26:50 there, a personal best, but he had disappointing Olympics, did Nicholas Kipkore-Kimeli. Only 14th in Paris last summer, over 10,000 metres. He produced a great run in the autumn. He was 3rd in the Delhi half marathon in 59:59. 60 minutes, the benchmark of world-class racing these days on the over the half marathon distance. He was 4th in the world cross country in Belgrade last year. He's fabulous in all services. He's the complete runner, is Nicholas Kimeli. Great on track, road and country, and for me that means so much. They come down past us now with 1 lap to go, about 23:35 on the clock as they go through the final circuit coming. 7 full laps they had to complete with the first 2/3 of a lap. So they've got about 1,200 meters to go, about 3 minutes to run. And it is going to be very close to 27 minutes. It would be lovely to see them go under 27 minutes again here today. In history, 25 men have broken 27 minutes on the road. 13 of them Kenyans, 5 of them Ethiopians, 2 Ugandans. You can understand from those stats that dominance of the East Africans. We're on the final circuit now, and it's still Kwizera at the front. The bearded Burundian leading now, and these 3 beginning to get away. And the early leader, Gemechu Dariba, is one of the 3. And Nicholas Kipkore Kimeli is just to the right there of this group. He's latched onto them, but is he struggling to stay with them? This is now becoming a tactical final lap, because 4, with about 800 meters to run. 2 laps of the track outdoors, if you want to put it in stadium athletics terms. And Nicholas Kipkore Kimeli there. Towards the back of the group, is he struggling? Rodrigo Kwizera, we know he's in fabulous form. Remember that sprint finish to win the Prague half marathon 3 weeks ago. Very soon they'll take the final right-hand turn and come into the new finishing straight, 180 meters long, dead straight towards the finish line. We'll get a wonderful view of it, and it does look like Kipkore Kimeli is losing ground on this trio. He's back in 4th place. They've got about 400 meters to run, 25.5 minutes on the clock, maybe slightly more than that. Gemechu, you sort of want him to win, don't you? Your heart wants him to win because he made the early running. He led through 5K in 13:29, did so much of the early work. But Bihranu will be a real danger here, the 29-year-old Bahrainian. Don't forget him, he's a 26:57 performer. He won the 5K here 2 years ago. He was 3rd here last year in the 5K, the former Ethiopian. And we're back to 4. And now Nicholas Kipkore Kimeli to the right there. Looks like he's got his sprint on. They haven't yet entered the finishing straight. And Bihranu kicks hard, the Bahrainian. On his day, my notes say he can beat anyone. And he may do that here today in Herzogenaurach. What a sprint from him. Here he goes. The final turn into the finishing straight. And he's timed that to perfection. He has the finish line in sight. But Hanu Bailu of Bahrain kicks for the line. And he's away. And surely they're not going to get back to him now. Gemechu in 2nd. Kwizera in 3rd. Punching towards the line here. Pushing really hard. He's going to take this one by a small margin. And look at the clock. It is going to be quick. It's going to be way, way below 27 minutes. 26:48, 49, 27. Under 26 minutes there, 26:53 perhaps unofficially. That is super quick. That is one of the fastest times in history by this man. Absolutely superb. That quite possibly is the in the top 10 fastest times in history. It makes him about the 10th fastest man in history. Wow. Brilliant racing, brilliantly fast racing here to kick off the day at this 5th edition of the Adizero Road to Records 2025. Incredible finish. I don't think there's ever been a mass finish of 4 men coming way under 27 minutes like that in history. I think that was the greatest mass finish in a 10K there's ever been. That was just supreme. Well, what a way to start the day here in Herzogenaurach. We're waiting for confirmation of that finishing time. But Bihranu Bailu looks like 26:54 is the official winning time. Boy, oh boy. The crowd loving it. There it is, confirmation of the win for the Bahrainian, 26:54. The first 3 on the same time. Dariba, the early leader, in 2nd. Kwizera in 3rd, 26:54 for Burundi. And Kipkore Kimeli, the best of the Kenyans, 26:56 in 4th place.